Okay. Hello to everybody. We are here in Althambach to the Kip family home, and we have the pleasure to have a discussion with Hugo. And more than that, we have the pleasure to see some of his best pigeons in the last years. Hello, Hugo.
Hello, Marius.
Everything is fine?
Yes, everything is okay.
Super. What is in your hand now?
This is a pigeon. It was the second national ace pigeon in Germany 2015 and is the father of the first national ace pigeon marathon this year 2021. And it is a cock. He win 4 national St. Vincent. He win 7 national St. Vincent a year later, 17 national POW, and then I put him in the breeding loft.
Very nice one. Very nice one. Super. And what is in the pedigree of this pigeon?
The father is the line of Obi-Wan, and the mother is a pigeon that I bred out of 2 originals from Günter Prange. So it is a mixture between speed and long distance.
You bring Prange pigeons in your own
Yes.
pigeons. Why you do that?
Because the races gets always faster every year, and you must do something that you get faster pigeons. So I bring in 4 pigeons from Günter Prange and cross them with my pigeons, and the results are very good. This year we have in Germany on the marathon we have ace pigeon 1, 3 and 4, and 2 of the pigeons has the blood from Günter Prange.
1, 3 and 4.
Yes.
And you have some pigeons on the Olympiad?
Yes, 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah, I don't know the results yet. I know
3
I have
or 4?
2 for sure from last year. You have 2 teams.
Oh yes.
Yes.
There is 2 teams. Yes,
And so I
correct.
have two from last year, and also I think the first national ace pigeon marathon. I think it will go to the Olympiad, and maybe another one too. So maybe 4. But we will see in end of November when the results are here. Then we see it exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Do you know our friend Sorin Zamfir has a project to flying to Barcelona here near you from the Hermes Loft.
Yeah.
And he will bring here very strong pigeons from top fanciers. Are
Yes.
you afraid about this?
No.
What do you think about this idea?
Think the idea is okay. Yeah.
But you are not still afraid.
No.
We will see. Hugo, we have here a very nice one.
Yeah, this pigeon was the first international St. Vincent in 2016, and she was 2 years old when she won St. Vincent, and as yearling she had a good result from Bordeaux and from Marseille, and in this year where she won St. Vincent before she has been in POW and has also a good result on POW. So she was 4 times on the marathon and 4 good results, and the first international was the best. Then I put her in the breeding loft.
Hey, the Versailles that have to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I have pigeons that don't do it, they are also good pigeons, so.
Very good. Feel like it has an engine inside.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the pedigree?
The father of this pigeon was also a good racing pigeon. He won 7 national Barcelona, and in total he won 8 marathon races, good results. And this was a grandson of 2 national ace pigeons, so from the father side. And from the mother side, the mother of this pigeon won the first prize from Barcelona in our area, 3rd national, and other good results. And her father was Rainmaker, which was also an excellent racing cock. And so you have all pigeons in the pedigree were very good racing pigeons, so it's not the only one. And even the first international from Perpignan in 1988 is also in the pedigree. So all our national winners, nearly all of them, they are in the pedigree of that pigeon.
Yeah, so looks all your pedigree are full
Yeah.
of first prizes, champions,
Yeah, yeah.
and so on and so on.
Because these are the pigeons I put in the breeding loft and I breed of them. So, and sometimes you get some good ones from that.
Very nice. Now you hold another pigeon in your hand.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this pigeon.
This is Donkere Stier. He is the first national ace pigeon in Germany in 2015. The blue one before was the second
Yes.
national ace pigeon, and he was the first national ace
So in
pigeon.
2015 you have 1 and 2.
Yes, and this one win in that year the second national from Pau and the fifth national from St. Vincent. And he is also an excellent breeding cock. He is the father of the first international Bordeaux, and this pigeon I show you on the racing loft, the dark one, is a son of him, which is very good. And in my opinion, this is a perfect pigeon. Very good in racing, breeding, and in the hand. It's fantastic. And also in his bloodline is also
really?
Picasso, which was the first national ace pigeon 2008. And from the mother side is Olympias, is the grandmother. She was the first national Dachs hens in 2003. So you have also very good pigeons in the pedigree.
How you create such of pigeons? Because when I hold your pigeons, most of them, yeah, it's very strong, very
Yeah.
good.
This-
How you create it? What's the secret?
This is because of the selection, because I put all the good racing pigeons in the breeding loft. And when you have good racing pigeons, they are on long distance or marathon, they are all perfect.
Yeah.
And if you put only the best ones in the breeding loft, after a time, after 40 years, you get such pigeons.
After 40 years, you mean?
Yeah, this line
after
we have.
you get 40 years of life, you can
No,
hope
this-
to have.
Yeah, no, we have these pigeons, this kind of pigeons we have since 40 years. So it's the same family since 40 years. And when you always put the best ones in the breeding loft, you have all family in the breeding loft. And
And when you say that you put your best pigeons in the breeding loft,
yeah,
you wait till they are become champions. You wait till they are become I don't know, Olympic pigeons or so on, or win first prizes. What do you mean?
No,
When is the moment to put a pigeon in the
if it
breeding
is a
loft?
first national ace pigeon or Olympic pigeon or a first prize winner, then I put it in the breeding loft. And sometimes for example, Picasso, when he was 1 year old, he won the third national from Tarbes and the 16th national from Perpignan as yearling, and he was first national ace pigeon. So I put him directly in the breeding loft. Other pigeons I put in the breeding loft after 2 years or 3 years. So when they have something special, when they win
Yeah.
something special, then I put them in the breeding loft.
So if you win, let's say, one first international with a pigeon,
Yeah,
it's a reason to be put on
Yes.
the. Yeah.
yes. But yeah, it depends. If it has other good results,
Yeah.
put it directly in the breeding loft, or it's from a good family,
Yeah.
and then you can put it directly to the breeding loft. I don't like pigeons when they won only one time a first prize and nothing else. So that's not the kind of pigeons I like. They must have multiple performances.
There is many opinion, especially in my country, where the pigeons has to fly 3-4 years
Yeah.
to prove their quality, and only after that you put in the breeding loft.
Yeah, sometimes they show their quality when they are 1 year old. As you know, this blue cock, I can show it the next, the blue with the white flights when you were here.
Yeah.
He showed it as yearling, and also on the first race, I make it with him when he was 2 years old, and then I put him in the breeding loft. So if you have something, some extra, some pigeons which are very good, you should not risk to lose them. You should put them in the
I know
breeding
that.
loft.
I know that now.
Okay.
Hugo, one more question if
Yeah.
we are here. I use your feeding system,
Yeah.
and a little bit I follow your program, but many people didn't know many things about that. Can you describe a little bit how you give food to the pigeons till 600 kilometers, and what you do before and between the marathon race?
it's not a big difference. We feed them on 200 kilometer the same way like we do on 1000 kilometer. That's not a big difference. They have always to be in a very good condition, and you see, if you feed them not good enough on the shorter races and you get a hard race, then the pigeon maybe is not good for the rest of the season because it has not
Yeah.
what it needs for the rest of the
Not,
season.
not enough fuel.
So you start on 100 kilometers, you start feeding them like you do on the 1000. So they have to be in a good shape every day in the racing system.
And when you say you have a good feeding, what do you mean by days? How you feed them?
Yeah, you see, when we start the season, we
Yeah.
have one race on Wednesday and one on Sunday. So you don't have to feed them a diet mixture or something like that because they are in the basket every 2 or 3 days. So you always put in the racing mixture every day and
So
feed
when
them
you
enough.
race 2 times per week,
Yes,
full of racing
full of
pigeons
racing. Yes,
continually.
and later when you go to when we stop this racing 2 times a week, when we are over 300 kilometers, then we race every Saturday, and also we have only one race from 300. The next is 450. So you also don't feed change the feeding. You always full feeding the racing mixture,
So no diet.
and no, only maybe when they come home one meal.
Yeah.
That's it. And when you go to the longer races from 700 kilometers or something, you add some fat to the food, so
Yes,
like
the energy.
the hemp,
Yeah.
the mixture, hemp, peanuts, linseed, sunflowers, peeled
Yes.
sunflowers. That's the fat mixture that we add to the food when it goes to the longer distance.
And here between the marathons and so on, do you feed diet or only?
Only
sport?
when they come home one meal or maybe the next day, because when they come home from a race like Pau,
Yeah.
so then it's 2 weeks until they go to the next race. So maybe we feed 1 or 2 days then the diet, and then they get feed again for the long distance.
And how you feed it in the morning and in the evening?
In the morning they get 15 grams per
Yeah.
pigeon, and in the evening they get as much as they want.
Even if they're hens or cocks, doesn't
Yes,
matter.
doesn't matter. It's not. They have to fly the same distance, so they need the same food.
Okay.
Because we make the total widowhood, so always the cock and the hen are in the basket. So
This is very, very important because many people ask me about the system. I teach them. It's better when they heard it from you.
you see the system now. Some people they change their food or everything every year, and I think that's not a good thing. We have the same food and the
I
same
know.
system since more than 30 years now, and we never change it because you have always pigeons they fly very well with that food and that system, and you have pigeons they don't fly. So it's a selection. And if you change everything every year, you never know what quality of your pigeons is, because you have this year you have this system, next year you have other system, and our pigeons fly on that system that we have since 30 years, and some don't fly. So the ones that don't fly, you have to take out of the team.
And do you use medicines in the season?
No,
No,
no, I go
not
to
at all.
no, I go to the Taubenklinik in beginning of March, middle of March every year, and they check the pigeons. And when the pigeons are healthy, you have to do nothing, and it should be okay for the racing season, because when we have the season, you don't have the time to make any cures or something like that. You see, when you basket the pigeons to Pau, they come home on Saturday. On Monday, you basket the pigeons for Barcelona, so the next team is away. When they come home, you basket the pigeons for St. Vincent. So in the racing season, you never have your pigeons at home all at the same time. You cannot make a cure. So it's very important that you have a pigeon which is healthy. That's also a quality of the pigeon when it is healthy. I think that's the biggest quality.
To be healthy,
Yeah,
the biggest
and,
quality.
and the pigeon has to be healthy from its own, not from medicine.
And what's happened if you go on the lab and found something?
Yeah, then I have to treat them, and then I have to treat them like they recommend, what they do, what they say about I have to do.
But that's everything before the season. In
That's
the season,
before the season. In
it
the
has
season,
to be healthy.
yes. And you see, I make this since 15 or 20 years, where I go to the Taubenklinik, and in that time, I had only one time I had to make a treatment. It was 8, 9 or 10 years ago, and the rest, the pigeons have been healthy all the time. So
in 15-20 years, one time need medicines and the
Yeah.
rest was okay.
Yeah.
Important things. So the most important quality is the healthy, natural healthy of the
Yes,
pigeons.
yes.
But you feed them some supplements in the season?
Yes, they get some supplements like the biotics and poor yeast and some protein, such things.
Yeah.
So all natural things as supplements.
To help them a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Because they have to go to the basket at the beginning of the season 2 times a week and later the long distance. So they have to be in a very good shape when
Very
you
good
basket
shape.
them. And you see, if a pigeon is not fit for 100%, I don't basket it. We basket only the pigeons which are fit for 100%.
Really?
Yes. I don't send a pigeon to a race that don't have a chance to make a good result. So if it's not fit, for what reason ever, I keep it 1 week or 2 weeks longer and send it to the next race.
And what's happened, let's say you start the race. After 1 week you see a pigeon, it's not in the good shape, let's say, yeah? And you keep it for 2 weeks.
No, I don't have this. I don't have this very often that a pigeon is not in a good shape. This happens maybe 1 time a year when it comes from a race. You see, sometimes on a race a falcon or was is chasing the pigeon,
Yeah.
and it comes 2 or 3 days later. So then I leave it at home longer than the other ones which have been home on the same day.
But not on the short distance, on the longest distance. I think,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. You see when you basket them, you see whether they are fit or not. So but this don't happen very often. So maybe 1 time or 2 times a year that a pigeon stays at home and goes to the next race.
Okay. Hugo, another top one. What you can tell us about this?
This pigeon is a very good one. As yearling, he win a first prize from 300 kilometers. Then from Bordeaux, he come together with other pigeon from us. He win the second prize because the other one was 2 seconds earlier on the system. And on Marseille as yearling, he win prize 5. And then when he was 2 years old, I sent him to Pau, and there were only 3 pigeons back the same day in Germany, and he was one of the 3. And then I put him in the breeding loft. And the brother of that pigeon is the 4 national ace pigeon marathon this year. And you have seen this cock coming home when you were here from Marseille 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Very good pigeon, and also the brother is very good family. Is a grandson of Golden Glory and Princess Elidan, and the father is 75% Prange.
So this pigeon, after a few wonderful results,
Yeah.
you decided to
Yeah.
put it in the breeding loft. It's a very nice one, very nice.
Yeah.
Hugo, can you tell us a little bit about how you raise the youngsters?
The youngsters is only for learning, so it's not. They get food as much as they want,
Yeah.
and they go 8 to 10 times, maybe 11 times, up to 250 kilometers, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's not important for me. I don't play for results or something like that with the youngsters.
But you do any selections?
Only selection on the health,
Yeah.
and the main selection is when they are 1 year old, because then I race them up to 800-900 kilometers. In the young bird racing, you don't see which one is a good one for a marathon.
No, I mean some hand or something.
Yeah, if you have a pigeon, for example, which is coming all the time, hours after the other, so you don't keep that now.
Yeah.
But I don't make a selection by the hand, because sometimes you have pigeons, they are totally different. You see, this pigeon is a little bit shorter, it has much volume,
Yeah.
and I can show you the next pigeon. It is very long and it's more slim now, and but both are good pigeons, so you cannot make a selection by the hand. You have to raise them. So when they are healthy and they don't come always hours too late as young bird, then I keep them for yearlings, and then I raise them and make the selection when they after the season on the results. That's the only way to select,
Okay.
because sometimes you have pigeons. For example, I have one when it was a young bird, it was not nice in the hand. So, and we had too much cocks, so we put them to the side, and maybe we didn't want to raise it. No? And then 2 months later, we have it in the hand, and he has developed. He was much nicer, so we put it back in the racing team, and this was one of our best cocks. So if you select them by the hand, you are not always right.
Yeah, correct.
So you have to raise them.
I have in my hand a very special pigeon,
Yeah, that's Golden Glory.
Golden Glory.
He was the best marathon pigeon in Europe in 2011, and he has also as yearling. He started with the 5th International Bordeaux, and then he win 12 National Barcelona, 10 National from Pau, 2nd National Narbonne. So he has a lot of top results, and he's excellent breeding cock. A lot of grandchildren of him win also very good races. In Germany, the 1st National Barcelona 2 years ago was a grandchildren of Golden Glory, and the 1st National Ace Pigeon Marathon this year is a grandchildren of Golden Glory. So I have a lot of good results with this cock.
Unbelievable. This is a little part of history from your loft.
He's very old now. He's from 2007,
Yeah,
and yeah,
but it seems that he had a great impact
yes,
in the loft.
yes.
And what is the bloodline from?
He's bred of 2 originals from Emil Materne.
Still breed?
Yes.
Hey. Que faz? How are you? Unbelievable. A really top one. Hugo, what is this?
This is Marathon Queen. She was the first National Ace Pigeon Marathon in Germany in 2017. After that I put her in the breeding loft, and she's the mother of one of the Olympic pigeons. So, and other pigeons from her are also very good results, as the cock I show you on the loft. So she's a very good breeding hen. Good racing hen, good breeding hen.
A lot of first.
And
As
she is
ace
also
marathon.
she's also the same line like Donkere Stier you have seen before. The Olympias is the grandmother of Donkere Stier and is the grandmother of that hen. So this was also a very good hen.
So the same line.
Same line, yeah.
Same line. Very good. Strong arms, good feathers, not so big.
Yeah.
But the same quality, strong pigeons. Very powerful. Great honor to hold another top from your loft. Congratulations. Hugo, at the end of this interview, if you will give 2-3 advices for the beginners or the fancier who don't achieve so top results till now, what will be these advices?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to raise the pigeons that you see the quality. Always racing, not make a selection in the hand or whatever, always racing.
Always racing. And when the results are not how you expected, what they should do?
Look for other pigeons.
Look for other pigeons.
At first they have to check, is their loft okay?
Yeah.
And if the loft is okay, if you have one pigeon that is good on the loft and the others are not, then the loft is okay, so then you have to look for better pigeons.
So you don't have to take away this one pigeon,
Yeah,
the best, and keep the rest. You have to take away the rest and keep the one.
yeah.
Okay. And when you have this pigeon, for example, who
Yeah.
are flying normally, maybe he's not the top, but it's always there. Huh?
Yeah.
What do you think is the next step? Keep his brothers or more brothers in the breeding? Try to work around?
No, I would not keep brothers, because you see, you never know whether the brothers has the same quality.
Yeah.
And I think it is always the best if you keep the pigeon which is the best on your racing loft,
Yes.
that you put this in the breeding loft and you try to get good youngsters from this one.
Yeah, but you have the parents, let's say, and this one medium pigeon. and you put it in the breeding loft. So
Yeah,
have three pigeons.
you should not put medium pigeons in the breeding loft, because
if it's the only one you have,
then you have to look for other pigeons.
so
It cannot. You see, if you put a pigeon with its medium,
yeah,
it brings you youngsters. They are medium. You never make a step forward.
okay.
So, and then when you have some time, when you have a very good pigeon, and you put this in the breeding loft, maybe you can go, if you have only one good cock, for example, on the racing, maybe you can go to another fancier and get a hen from a very good racing pigeon to pair on that cock and make better results on your loft. But with middle pigeons, you should not put them in the breeding loft.
Okay, so only the top
Yeah.
has to go in the breeding
Yeah,
loft.
you see, all the best results I have out of my ace pigeons, and yeah, they have it in the genes, and they have to give it. If you have a pigeon that is always middle,
Yeah.
don't come to the top of result. You will never breed one that comes to the top of the result.
Correct. So, if I go or other person go and buy some pigeons, yeah, he's looking to the pedigree, he's looking on the hand, pedigree looks good,
Yeah.
and so on, like it's usual, and put them in the breeding, and then no results.
Then
Out?
out. So if I get a new pigeon,
Yeah.
I pair them up for 2 years with 2 different partners, and I raise maybe 10 or 12 youngsters out of this pigeon. And if I don't have one youngster with a good result, I take it out after
Yeah,
2
but
years.
for you it's easier because you already have your own line.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
I try to get advices from you for the people who have no results or try to starting, because what I'm feeling it's that we have many enthusiastic fanciers who get in the pigeon sport.
Yeah.
And after a while they become disappointed because didn't get the right advices, and it's a big pressure of marketing. It's full of Facebook, full of photos, full
Yeah.
of stories, but at the end
Yeah, you see, if people start maybe and they don't have the results, the first thing is they have to check their loft.
loft.
So if the
Okay.
loft is not working, if you don't have enough oxygen on the loft, you can put pigeons on the loft, whatever you want, they don't fly. So the loft must be okay. Then when the loft is okay and you still have no results, then it's the pigeons. You see, I know a lot of fanciers, they have 1 or 2 good pigeons in the racing team. They race, let's say, 100 pigeons and they have 2 pigeons with good results. So then the loft is okay because these 2 pigeons can bring the results. And if the other 98 cannot bring the results, these are not the right pigeons. So that's the,
Simple.
yeah.
Okay, I hope you like this interview and you found useful information. I tried to put the right questions and force Hugo a little bit to tell us about what he do. Of course, I learned more about this in the last 16 years since we know each other, and it's very helpful because Hugo and his father is one of the most honest people which I know it, and this is the truth, and that's why I like to make interview with you, because we always have to learn something from the right man. Congratulations.
You have to learn from the pigeons, not from the man.
This is the third advice, to learn from the pigeons, yes. I agree with you, you can learn a lot from pigeons. Last year some focus about the pigeons' needs in my loft, and when you look at what they're eating, what they like to eating.
Yeah. And you see, I think it's the most important thing. Most of the thoughts I do is about the pigeons. I never make any thoughts about the system or the feeding, never. Always thinking, how can I breed better pigeons? That's what I always do. Not what can I feed or what can I give for medicine or whatever. Always thinking, how can I breed better pigeons?
This is the last and the most important advice. Always focus on how can I breed a better pigeon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hugo.
Okay, thank you.